Hey, imagine this: you finally get the keys to your dream home, the one you've been grinding for your whole life. And before you can even unpack a single box, some lady with a clipboard storms up and tells you you're trespassing on your own porch. That's exactly what happened to Maya Thompson in the quiet little suburb of Willow Creek, Georgia. And let me tell you, what went down next turned this sleepy neighborhood upside down. It's a story about standing your ground, finding your people, and proving you belong no matter who tries to say otherwise. Maya was 42, a numbers whiz who'd spent years crunching data for a logistics firm in Atlanta. She wasn't the type to flaunt her success: no fancy cars, no designer bags, just a steady, practical woman who'd clawed her way up from late-night shifts to a corner office. Her big dream? A home where her 19-year-old son, Ethan, could crash during college breaks. A place that screamed stability, roots, something solid. After years of pinching pennies in cramped apartments, she found it. A two-story brick house on Maple Lane, with wide lawns, kids biking down the street, and that perfect suburban hum of sprinklers and birds chirping. When she signed the papers, it felt like a knot in her chest finally unraveled. This wasn't just a house. It was her promise to herself that she'd made it. Moving day was chaos in the best way. Boxes everywhere. Ethan hauling his old guitar through the door, laughing when it got stuck. Maya standing in the driveway, keys in hand, breathing in the smell of fresh-cut grass. For the first time in years, she thought, this is ours. But even that first day, there were hints something was off. A neighbor's curtain twitching across the street. A guy walking his dog who stared a little too long before flashing a fake smile. Maya noticed, but she shrugged it off. New neighborhoods always have their nosy types, right? She wasn't gonna let it ruin her moment. Inside, the house smelled like fresh paint, walls bare but bursting with possibility. She was already picturing her grandma's old quilt on the couch, Ethan's posters on the walls, maybe even a little nook for her to finally read those books she'd been stacking for years. Ethan flopped onto the floor, grinning. "Mom, this already feels like home." And she smiled back. "That's 'cause it is." But by day 2, she started noticing her. Evelyn Harper, early 60s, tall, sharp cheekbones, always clutching a clipboard like it was her lifeline. She didn't wave, didn't smile, just watched. Maya caught her scribbling something while standing at the edge of her driveway, her eyes flicking from Maya's car to the trash cans. When Maya gave a friendly, "Hey there," Evelyn turned and walked off without a word. Ethan saw it too, muttering, "What's her deal, Mom? She's like a hawk." Maya laughed it off. Some folks just love their roles and sweat it. But deep down, she felt that prickle of unease, like a storm was brewing, and she was the only one who didn't see it coming. By the end of the first week, it wasn't just a prickle, it was a full-on gut punch. Sunday afternoon, Maya's unloading groceries, arms full of bags, keys dangling from her wrist, when Evelyn marches across the street, clipboard in tow, her steps so sharp they practically crack the pavement. Before Maya can even set the bags down, Evelyn's voice cuts through the air like a knife. "You need to leave this property now." Maya freezes, thinking she misheard. "I'm sorry, what?" Evelyn doesn't blink. "This is private property. Homeowners only. You don't belong here." Maya laughs, not because it's funny, but because it's so absurd she can't process it. "Ma'am, I'm literally carrying groceries into my house. I own this place." But Evelyn's eyes narrow, her grip on that clipboard tightening. "That's impossible. I know who lives here, and it's not you." Ethan hears the commotion and pokes his head out. "Mom, what's going on?" Evelyn doesn't miss a beat, announcing loud enough for the whole street to hear. "This woman's trespassing. She has no right to be here." By now, a few neighbors are peeking out: old Mr. Jenkins from 2 doors down, Sarah Miller across the street, even a kid on a bike slowing to gawk. Maya's heart's pounding, but she keeps her cool, pulling out her phone. "Okay, fine. Here's my closing statement. Me name. This address, signed and notarized." She shoves the screen toward Evelyn, but the woman doesn't even glance at it, just scoffs. "Forgery's easy these days." Ethan's jaw drops. "Are you serious right now?" Maya's had enough, her voice low but steady. "You've got no right to accuse me of anything. This is my home, and you need to back off." Evelyn doesn't budge. "I'm calling the police. They'll sort this out." And just like that, she spins on her heel, marching back to her house, leaving Maya standing there, groceries at her feet, neighbors staring, and a sinking feeling that this was only the beginning. The next few days, Maya tried to shake it off, focus on settling and hanging pictures, meeting neighbors like Sarah, who brought over a pie and a warning. Evelyn's been running this HOA like her personal kingdom for years. Didn't let her get to you. Or Mr. Jenkins, who offered to lend her tools and said, "She's chased out good folks before, but you seem tougher than that." But every time Maya stepped outside, there was Evelyn, clipboard in hand, jotting down notes about her car, her bins, even the flowers she planted. It wasn't about rules, it was personal, like Evelyn had decided Maya didn't fit her vision of Maple Lane. Ethan called her out one night. "Mom, she's obsessed, literally stalking us." Maya sighed, sipping her tea on the porch. "Some people think they own the world just 'cause they've got a title. She's not running us out." Then came the second blow. Monday afternoon, Maya's unpacking dishes when Sarah texts her. "Heads up, Evelyn's calling the cops. Says you're squatting." Maya's stomach drops. She doesn't want Ethan seeing police cars in their driveway, doesn't want the neighbors whispering. But sure enough, 20 minutes later, there's a knock. Two officers stand on her porch, one older, calm, the other younger, hand on his belt. "Ma'am, we got a call about a possible trespasser at this address," the older one says. Maya forces a smile. "You've got to be kidding me." She grabs her folder, deed, mortgage, bills, all in her name, and spreads them out on the table. "This is my house. Officers, check it." They scan the papers, nod. "Looks good to us." "I'm sorry for the trouble." From across the street, Evelyn's voice rings out. "Don't let her fool you, she forged it." Maya steps to the doorway, pointing. "That's harassment. She's been at this since I moved in. Wasting your time because she doesn't like me." The older officer glances at Evelyn, then back at Maya. "You want to file a report? This could be harassment." Maya hesitates, then nods. "Yeah. I want a record." That night, Maya barely sleeps, replaying it all. Evelyn's smug face, the neighbor's stares, Ethan's anger. She'd worked too hard for this house to let some petty tyrant ruin it. By Wednesday, word of the showdown was all over Maple Lane. Sarah stopped by with a casserole, whispering, "Evelyn's done this before in a family out 3 years ago over unapproved paint colors. People are scared of her, but you're differentiary, not backing down." Ethan overheard, muttering, "She picked the wrong fight this time." Maya smiled, but inside, she was steeling herself for what was coming. The real battle hit at the HOA meeting that Thursday. The community center was packed, neighbors crammed into folding chairs, whispering, the air thick with tension. Maya and Ethan walked in together, her folder tucked under her arm, his jaw set like he was ready to throw punches. Sarah saved them seats up front, whispering, "You've got this." Evelyn stood at the podium, clipboard in hand, like a judge about to sentence someone. She started in, voice sharp, "We're here to address a serious issue: resident occupying a property under questionable circumstances." The room murmured. Maya's pulse raced, but she stayed calm. Sarah jumped in. "Lorraine," everyone saw Maya move inch, "got the papers." Evelyn snapped, "Documents can be forged. I am protecting our community's standards." That's when Maya stood, walking to the podium, her heels clicking, every eye on her. She laid out her papers, voice steady. "I'm Maya Thompson, owner of 1423 Maple Lane. Here's my deed, my mortgage, my bills, all legal, all filed. I'm not here to break rules, I just want to live in my home. But since day one, I've been watched, accused, even reported to the police for living in the house I paid for. This isn't about standards, it's harassment." The room exploded, claps, gasps, a few cheers. "Mr. Jenkins called out, "She's right, Evelyn did the same to the Garcias 2 years ago." Another neighbor shouted, "And to me over my mailbox." Evelyn slammed her clipboard down. "This is a witch hunt." But the tide was turning, and she knew it. A week later, the neighborhood was buzzing. Someone nobody knew who started a petition to oust Evelyn as HOA president. By the next meeting, the room was even fuller, the air electric. Evelyn tried to defend herself. "I've kept this neighborhood pristine for a decade. Without me, it'd fall apart." But Maya stood again. "Rules don't mean bullying. You don't get to decide who belongs." When the vote came, hands shot up, almost everyone. Evelyn's face crumpled. She grabbed her clipboard and stormed out, muttering, "You'll regret this." Ethan squeezed Maya's hand, whispering, "We won." Maya shook her head. Not just you, everyone who finally spoke up. After that, Maple Lane changed. Kids biked freely again, neighbors waved without looking over their shoulders. Sarah threw a coffee meetup, inviting Maya, and even Mr. Jenkins showed up with his old toolbox, grinning. Use it before Evelyn tries to fine you for it. Maya felt the weight lifting, the sense of belonging sinking in. One evening, as she and Ethan sat on the porch, watching the sunset, she said, "This house was worth every fight, not cause it's perfect, but cause we proved we belong." Ethan nodded. "We didn't just move and we claimed our spot." But here's the thing, Evelyn's still out there, blinds drawn, probably still scribbling on that clipboard. And it makes you wonder, how many people stay silent when someone like her tries to push them out? What would you do if someone told you you didn't belong in your own home? Drop a comment. Share your thoughts. Have you ever faced a bully like this, or seen a community stand up? Let's talk about it. Because stories like Maya's don't end, they just spark the next fight for what's right.